We are ready to talk about review and preview 5.2.1. For question 48, we see a situation that's being described and we see some work that is set up. Your job is to decide why this is an appropriate calculation. So think about what we've talked about recently with percents, with finding percents of something, which means we're going to multiply. If he's got 10%, tell me why it makes sense that he would use the decimal 0.1. So why does it work if he's supposed to find 10% of his income? And then, of course, don't forget to find the answer to that multiplication problem, which would tell us the amount of money that he's going to donate. Since it's money, make sure you label it with a $sign that goes in front of your answer and circle that so that I can find that part as well. For question 49, Melissa wants to re-sod her yard, and the different parts of her yard are described in sections. She has a backyard portion that measures 24.5 by 18, and then she has two different sections in the front. My suggestion would be start by making a list. So maybe in my workspace, I can say for the backyard, she has 24.5 by 18. Then in the front yard, she has two sections, 18.5 by 14.5 and 12.5 by 14.5. The question itself is asking you how much is she going to need altogether. So you've got three separate areas to find and then combine them all together. Something to keep in mind, if we're going to be multiplying these, the fractions that we have will convert easily to decimals if you wish, or if you want to leave them as fractions, you can make them improper fractions to multiply, or you could use generic rectangles, so you've got some options. Decide what you're going to do. What is your strategy to find those individual areas, add them all together, and then make sure you have your answer labeled clearly. For question 50, we have to simplify the following decimal expressions. It really just means find the answer. So for both parts A and B, we have some decimals that we're going to multiply together. Make sure you copy those down. Let me see the work that you're doing and make certain you put your decimal point in the right spot. Do that part carefully. For question 51, we have four pieces of rope that we don't know how long they are, but they are equal, and a 10-foot section of rope that are all attached. It says the whole piece together total is 30 feet long. For part A, when it's asking you to draw a diagram, we've seen these kinds of diagrams before where I've got sections with a hash mark, a section with a hash mark. So label your three unknowns, label your four unknown parts with a variable, label your 10, and that's it for your diagram. Now part B asks you to take steps to figure out how long is each of those unknown pieces of rope, based on the fact that the whole thing together would be 30 feet long. So essentially you're finding out what will X equal. 52, last one we've got, is asking you to make portions webs. Nothing new here, so they're giving you fractions. Your job would be to find the percent, the decimal, and show me the words or pictures there in the middle. Don't forget that part. Some of these may be easier for you to start by making it into a decimal, then use the decimal to make a percent. But again, make sure all four parts are filled in on all four of those parts from question 52.